Now that we've entered a vehicle and two expenses into the system, let's see what happened with the general ledger, bookkeeping, and banking. So let's click on general ledger on assets and liabilities. And you see we have a negative balance of $200 in the check. We also have auto parts and recon on the current assets of $265, and we have $5,000 inventory. We also have an accounts payable of $5,065. So let's take a look at this auto parts and recon and double click on the line, and it brings up the two expenses we've entered before. So let's click on one of these expenses, the dent buster, and double click, and it takes us right back to the vehicle expense that caused this entry into the general ledger. Now let's take a look at the inventory line, and we double click on that, and we double click on that, and it takes us back to the purchase information of the vehicle itself, and if we need to, we can modify it. And now let's go to the accounts payable and double click on that line. And as you can see, this $200 was paid because we already wrote the check for it. The $65 for CarQuest is still an outstanding balance, and the $5,000 to Mannheim is still an outstanding balance to be paid. Let's go to bookkeeping now, and we go to accounts payable. In accounts payable, you see that right away it drops down the existing bank accounts. Since we only have one, we have no other choice but to click on check one. You can see also that CarQuest has an outstanding bill for $65 and Mannheim for $5,000. Now we can come down here to the bottom and select all the bills, and as you can see, everything is marked to be paid, or deselect all the bills. We can also individually click what we want to pay for. And we can also go to vendor select. We go to vendor select, and it brings up all the vendors that have outstanding bills. So let's just pay CarQuest for now. So we click on CarQuest and we click on paid. We want to pay this one. Now you might have 10, 20 bills there, especially if you're paying at the end of the month. And now let's go to pay selected bills and click on it. And it brings up a little check. And again, you can change the check number, the pay to the order of, and the memo. So let's click post check and quit. And it printed the check. And it also created a summary sheet of the check, although it's too large to go on the screen on this type of screen. What this really is, it's a summary of every check or every payment that was included on this particular check. So close this down, and we'll close this down. And let's go to banking now. We click on banking, and you can see here's the CarQuest check for $65, and here's the Dentbuster check. And we can double click, for example, on Dentbuster, and it shows you where that check came from or what it paid for.